Riot revealed the new champion Akshan, the Rogue Sentinel, and he does look pretty brokenly overpowered, but we won't actually know until we see the numbers. While I am honored that Riot decided to put my face on one of the champions they made, this is not what the video is about. So let's go ahead and take a look at the abilities and what exactly Akshan does. And this is actually, we're going to be looking at Skin Spotlights, their video of their reveal. I'll leave the link in the video. But yeah, let's go ahead and look into it. Now, first things first, it makes sense why they made Akshan ranged. He does seem very authentically Indian, as an Indian person myself. So, if they didn't make him a melee champion, they'd probably have to, give him a piece of naan and he'd be slapping people around with it. But, obviously, that's not the play, right? We don't want a champion in the league who, pulls out a piece of naan, and yeah, that's not the play, right? So, let's go ahead and read everything that Akshan does, right? So, first things first, every 3 hits from Akshan's attacks and damaging abilities deal a burst of physical damage. Another 3-hit passive. I'm not sure how I feel about this. We have plenty of champions in the game that have this. It's not very unique, but it is what it is. And if the target was a champion, Akshan also gains a shield. So he does look to be like a marksman. We're going to go ahead and play that out. So there's a shield he gets. After attacking, Akshan fires a second attack that deals reduced physical damage. The second shot can be cancelled like a regular basic attack. If Akshan cancels the second shot, he gains a burst of move speed. That's interesting. That does make him a bit mobile, but again, the 3-hit passive is very reminiscent of Vayne. It's very similar, so I understand why they did that, since 3-hit passives, even though they're not unique, have been some of the more balanced passives in the game, like Gnar. Vayne sometimes, probably not when she was first released, but they are a bit balanced, since it's not like a brokenly overpowered passive. So it's not a bad ability, but we'll see how it plays out. Again, if the numbers are high, then it's going to be a little bit broken. But now let's go ahead and look at the other skill, which is Avengerang. I think that's what it's called. Akshan throws a boomerang that deals physical damage and reveals enemies hit, extending its range each time it hits an enemy. Now that's unique. Enemies can be hit once as the boomerang goes out and once as it returns, and it does look like it puts stacks of his passive on it. So it's kind of like on hit for his passive. Now again, this kind of reminds me of Sivir's boomerang, but it does apply his passive. It doesn't do true damage like Vayne. I'm pretty sure it's physical damage, so it won't probably be so brokenly overpowered, but you can potentially, build your stacks much more faster than Vayne, right? Since she has to go ahead and auto, and he has abilities that go on. So you can definitely stack even faster. I don't know if there's a cooldown on the passive, but if there's not, that's a lot of damage. So I'm excited to see how that works out. Pretty fun ability, looks like. Now this one is the one that I think is gonna make the champion a bit hard to balance because of the passive here from going rogue. His next ability is W. When enemy champions kill one of Akshan's allies, they are marked as scoundrels. That is the most Indian thing I've ever heard. I think only Indian people use the word scoundrel, but no, let's go. When Akshan gets a takedown on a scoundrel, he gains bonus gold. All allies killed by the scoundrel are resurrected at their base, and the scoundrel status is removed from all other enemies. Now, this one is a bit rough because it kind of rewards bad play. Let's say a lot of teams in solo queue, for instance, would like to go for this 5v5 style, since a lot of people in the lower ranks don't understand macro. So it usually just ends up like an ARAM mid or like a 5v5 around an objective. So this pretty much rewards the team if for instance, you're smashing 5v5s versus Akshan, and then even though you go 2 for 2, and let's say, the scoundrel got the kills, right? Then they're resurrected, and then you actually have an advantage. So now this one might be a little bit broken for solo queue and the lower ratings, but I think the players that are more knowledgeable with macro will understand that you're gonna have to maybe split push versus this, or not take really bad 5v5s. So there is a way of playing around it, and that's why those new items, Hull Breaker and everything like that. I feel like it's Riot's secret way of saying build this item and versus this champion. Now you have a use for it, right? But I'm not too sure how this goes. Anyway, let's go into his active. Akshan becomes camouflaged for a short duration or indefinitely while near terrain. I'm not a fan of this because I don't know. I just think it's not stealth, but kind of like stealth. Um, I just don't like the mechanic. Let's go and play it out. Look, so if you're close enough, obviously you do see him, but you know, if he's near terrain and being indefinite, it's kind of weird. But let's go ahead and look at the resurrection. So you'll see Akshan kill the person who just killed his two teammates, and then they go ahead and resurrect and spawn, right? So imagine like a Baron fight. You kill them, you get Baron, then those two people who just resurrected will have Baron as well. It is a very, very strong ability that's not even his ultimate, right? So it's a very, very strong ability. So, you know, this could happen even sooner. So it's a strong ability. So let's go and read the next part. During this time, Akshan can see trails leading towards scoundrels and gains move speed and mana regeneration while moving toward them. I don't understand the mana regeneration part, but yeah, that's also kind of cool. Like, it's kind of like Vayne-like, you know, like Night Hunter, where she goes ahead and gets movement speed while moving towards enemies. But yeah, it's definitely very reminiscent of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at his E. Heroic Swing. This one's cool. It kind of gives you that Indiana Jones kind of vibe. Akshan fires a hook shot that embeds in the first terrain hit. While embedded, he can recast to swing around the terrain in the cast direction, firing physical damage bullets at the nearest enemy while swinging. While swinging, he can recast again to jump off in the direction of the cursor and fire a final shot. Heroic Swing cooldown resets when Akshan earns a takedown. And okay, this gives him a bit of like mobility. It's cool that, like, you know, it gives you that kind of like adventurous vibe, I guess. I like this ability, but I feel it's gonna be a bit hard to balance. So yeah, we'll see what the numbers look like again. But the fact that it resets does make him very strong and very snowbally, right? So let's go ahead and look at his ult, which I honestly don't know how to say it. We're just gonna say comeuppance. That doesn't sound right, actually. I'm just gonna call it comeuppance. Actually, there we go. Akshan locks onto an enemy champion and begins channeling power into his gun to store bullets. At the end of the duration or after recasting, Akshan unleashes the stored bullets, each dealing physical damage based on missing health to the first minion, champion, or structure hit. So he can use this on turrets, inhibitors, probably. That's pretty cool. But Akshan can move normally and cast Heroic Swing while channeling and firing comeuppance. So he can go ahead and swing, looks like it. So this is kind of like, it reminds me of Caitlyn with the lock-on. I think it's going to be like a point-and-click lock-on, and then like a Lucian, like, you know, cast as well. So that's pretty cool, but I'm pretty excited to see, you know, what that looks like. So yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at that. But I think this will be cool for like taking towers. Let's say you do lose lane, you are like in a different lane. Maybe you can use the ult for taking towers if you're like a super behind, or if you don't think you're gonna 5v5. But yeah, I think overall it's pretty unique in that sense. But we'll see how that goes out. But yeah, I do think it's awesome that, you know, we get some Indian representation. You know, we got one of my Indian brothers in the game now. So, you know, again, I'm very honored. But let me know what you guys think about Akshan, the Rogue Sentinel, in the comments below. And if you do think that he's going to be overpowered, underpowered, or anything like that. So, you know, I felt very obligated to make this champion preview. I have played League of Legends since 2010. I've never made one of these. But, you know, given that he is, you know, one of my people, we had to make one. So like, comment, subscribe. That really does help with the YouTube algorithm and growing my channel. It really does help. And, you know, I do want to keep making these videos for you guys. So that would mean a lot, guys. So I'll see you in the next video. And again, let me know in the comments what you guys think.